guys. This is Tuna with the Premier Podcast. I'm here with J-Mac.
What's up?
And WICK.
What's going on?
All right, make sure you follow us on our social medias. Our Twitter is the Premier Cast.
Yes.
And then everything else, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, is all the Premier Podcast, right? Everything right on that? All right. Today we got a bunch of things going on, really.
Well, yeah.
Bunch of topics we're wanting to talk about. This is going to be a little bit lengthier of a podcast, just to let you guys know at the beginning, because my boy Wick over here has got a couple more categories to talk about now.
Controversial.
Controversial.
Let's get it.
So first we're going to start out with his little section we like to call the appetizers, and then we got J-Mac coming up after that with the relevance of esports. Then we're coming back to me, Tuna, with just sports in general, and then we're going back to Wick for the end with just some crazy shit. That's all I wrote down. So I don't really know what he's going to talk about. We're just going to figure it out together. So let's get it going with Wick and the appetizers.
All right, so fun story behind the appetizers. I spelt it wrong on my little sheet here. So it's supposed to be appetizers. Fucked up on spelling it, so we're just going to keep it. We're going to roll with it. We got some appetizers. All right, what I'm going to do is have like 5 to 10 little news things to tell you guys about that.
Current events type thing.
Yeah. Some shit to keep up with. Because we're trying to broaden what we got a little bit. Alright, so, first one. Demi Lovato OD'd on heroin, but is now stable and requesting privacy. So, she's making recovery.
That's good.
After relapsing. That kind of sucks. On to the next one. Trump just paid a $12 billion bailout for farmers who are going to get penalized for new tariffs-ish at first. They're going to get penalized at first. So he just did a $12 million bailout, or $12 billion, sorry.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and but with this, Europe has agreed to buy American soybeans, like down the road. So they're going to supply all of Europe with American soybeans. Later going to help the farmers, of course. Next one. Almost 80 deaths in wildfires in Greece. They're all
Wildfires in Greece.
Yep, like the European.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Greece,
but like
the place that's a bunch of islands.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of water there.
What about California? They're on the coast.
Oh,
yeah, but they're like surrounded by water though. That should keep going.
But anyway, people are evacuating to the sea, and that's they're coming from north to south. So I mean,
okay.
The only place they have to go is the water. That's super polluted and stuff too. So I mean, it's almost like a lose-lose for them. Number 4, we got hundreds dead in Syria after an ISIS suicide bombing takes place. I didn't even hear about this. That actually kind of makes me upset. I didn't even hear about this. I looked up news whatevers, and that popped up, and I was like, how the hell did I not hear about this? Anyways, on the 5th one. Archaeologists in Jamestown, Virginia, unearthed a church from 1617.
Damn.
And they found possible skeletal remnants of Sir George Yeardley, who is America, not the country, but like the settlement, America's second governor.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That's crazy.
That's insane,
Yeah, right?
actually.
All right, that's all I got for appetizers. On to J-Mac with
Relevance
stuff.
of esports.
Alright, so we're going to talk about the relevance of esports today because we've mentioned esports in our past podcasts, but we know that, esports is kind of a new thing, and if you don't keep up with video games and stuff, you probably don't know what it is.
Yeah, you're not.
So we're just going to
like all of us are.
We're just going to kind of like touch base on kind of what esports is, how it's kind of like how we came in to know what it is, and kind of where we think esports is heading. So Tony, you want to start us off and just kind of tell us like what you know about esports, like how you got
what
into
I
it.
know about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really into the esports aspect of it because I'm really new to it too. I've been playing video games my whole life, but I mean, because I was never into Call of Duty or anything like you guys were, so I don't really know much about the whole esports. I know about it, but I wasn't into it like you guys were.
Yeah.
But what I know about esports is that it's basically like any other sporting event, pretty much, just with video games, and it's like 4-on-4, 5-on-5, and they play each other, and it's most of the time more intense than any other sporting event because they go crazy. Like it's just that's pretty much all I know though. Like they're just hyped up for no reason.
What do you got for us, Wake?
Oh, what do I know? I know that it's been around longer than I think it has been, because I remember growing up playing Call of Duty. I grew up on Call Call of Duty 4. I played that a lot. And I didn't get competitive until Ghost. And we kind of scratched the surface of the esports scene. Played GBs. We almost started playing for money. But we were in, middle school? Like, starting high school, so we didn't really have money to, like, gamble. Then sports and stuff got in the way, so we didn't really even start that. I know a few Rocket League. I know, like, a few players from each, like, Rocket League, Call of Duty. I don't keep up with teams or anything.
Yeah, so pretty much, like, my background is I came into it around the same time as WICK. Me and him played lots of Call of Duty together, and we're just stomping people, and we're like, where are we going to get some competition?
Yeah.
And so we started hopping onto, like, GB ladders and stuff, and then we got, like, I don't know.
What are GB ladders?
GB ladders, so Game Battles is a website put on by MLG, or Major League Gaming, that... it's like a tournament style bracket kind of where you just go and you play matches. You create a team, it's free. And you just play matches against other people that register. And you just kind of play to place high enough. If you place high enough, you get to go to like...
It's a ladder.
Yeah, and if you place high enough, you can go to the playoffs, and then you actually can win money without ever
it's
paying
like
money.
A tournament, pretty much.
Kind of.
Okay.
But it lasts like a month or two each one.
Yeah.
And you just play as many as you can. But so I got into about the same time as WICK during like COD Ghosts. And I don't even remember how I stumbled upon. I think I just like found a video of a professional Call of Duty game, Optic Gaming versus TK for the MLG X Games, and
wow,
for the championship. And I watched it, and I never knew Call of Duty or video games could be so intense and like get you like going like I was as excited as I would be like at a sporting event, like at one of the. Like at like a football game or something, I would be like, I was like
sitting on the edge of your seat the whole time.
I got so into it, and I was like, what is this? Like, what have I stumbled upon? And like from there, I've been hooked. I've kept up with Call of Duty for several years, and now I'm starting to keep up with League of Legends and Fortnite now that it's coming out. But there's so many like avenues to explore. So Tuna touched a little bit on kind of like some of them that he's watched. Tuna, have you watched any? Or are there any you're interested in watching?
Fortnite is mostly the only one I'm interested in right now. Because I don't like Call of Duty. I never like Call of Duty, so I mean, there's nothing really else for me to watch. I watch the 2K League sometimes. I mean, those are the only two games I play. So,
you told me a little bit about the 2K League last week. I think after the podcast.
Yeah, that was.
Can you elaborate on like how the 2K League works?
The 2K League. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% sure on all this. Because I haven't really done my research. I just saw like a couple things about it. But they have 16 teams, I'm pretty sure. So like these are like 16 of the NBA teams. So the NBA teams have these teams. So like you have like a Golden State Warriors elite team and everything like that. And they draft people and do all this other stuff. And it's basically like an NBA team. And they play against each other. And they have like they have tournaments every weekend. And they play for money and everything like that. The team supports them where they go. Like they had like an apartment for like the Warriors team and stuff like that. It's just like a mini basketball team.
That's pretty cool.
And how do they get players on that team?
They literally there's this thing where you can play online against people. It's called My Player, and you build them up, and you get your overall starts out really low, and you have to like build them up and play with them so often, and it gets up to overall 99, obviously the best you could get, and then. They literally did an NBA draft like for first year players. They literally did that with these guys, and it was pretty cool because they like all dressed up and everything like that. You actually get to see the face behind who actually plays and everything like that. And
okay,
that's one of the cool things about esports. Actually, is you mentioned like the face behind the players. Is esports is very much player focused, and you can get to know the people you're cheering for a lot more than you can in traditional sports. They live stream on twitch.tv, a lot of them, or even MLG, and that's where you're going to get to see them, like practicing, and like they just stream, and they're like they interact with the people that are cheering them on a daily basis on ways that you can't with NBA and MLB and stuff like that. So like that's a huge part of the rise in esports popularity is because you can get to know the players better. They're more interactive with you, and the teams are part of that. Like the organizations will do like behind the scenes, like this is what goes on, like this is what happened this week leading up to the event, and things like that. So it's really cool to see the environment around esports and how they build up the players themselves, not just the teams themselves.
I think esports is also thriving because, I mean, for the longest time, celebrities have been put on a pedestal. They've been put as like they're ungodly, like they are next level humans. And with esports, you watch a stream for 10 hours and you understand they're just a normal person, but they're just as famous. Like Ninja, he's just a cool dude, and he's just like me and you. He's just really fucking good at Fortnite. And you understand that these people that are super famous and make a lot of money, they're just normal people. And I think that's what is also making them rise quicker.
Yeah. And how do you guys think that, esports compares to traditional sports as far as like entertainment value goes?
Well, I mean, I know they pack arenas for sure. At least Fortnite is.
And I know
they can bring in the same amount of money, pretty much. I mean, they're just not. Some of them are just like not scheduled, obviously, because it's kind of like depending on what people like to watch. That's the only way that you're gonna have an income from it.
I feel like esports also is very popular with people because every game means something. Mm-hmm. MLB plays 180 games, 80 or 90 of which don't mean shit. You're just playing for ranking, and every single esports game means something. Everything's a tournament, or it's a ladder,
even
or it's
when you're
something.
Practicing, stuff like that.
Yeah, and like you said, you can stream practicing, and then you're still able to interact with people that are watching you. I can't sit there and ask LeBron how his day's going when he's playing his 78th season game. That almost means nothing.
Or while he's practicing, you can't sit there in the gym with him while he's taking shots and doing all this stuff. You can't just sit in there and just be like, hey, how's your day going? Like, stuff like that. You can't do that. But, I mean, with Twitch and everything like that, while they're practicing, you can literally ask them questions like, hey, what are you trying to get better at during this season? Like, stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's actually, like, a common question is, like, especially with, like, people like Ninja and Myth, the big Twitch streamers in Fortnite, is people will constantly ask them, like, what's some tips that you can give us to improve your game? And they do that on a daily basis. And people like Myth, like the TSM team and stuff like that, is they like a lot of times they live stream their scrims, and so you can see them playing against other professionals and like what they're doing. Yeah, and they'll explain their thought process sometimes and things like that. So you can learn a lot to improve. I also wanted to touch on like what do you guys think about like the skill gap, because like like video games like super popular, everyone plays video games, so like what makes these people so much better, and like what does it take to become a pro as opposed to like becoming a pro in like sports? Like how do you think those two compare?
I think being a pro is you're going all out.
Yeah,
you got nothing else. You're riding. You're all in on black. That's what you're doing. You're going all in. You're going balls to the wall, and that's all you're going. You're dedicated to that one thing. Because you can't accidentally become pro in anything. You're not going to sit there and be like, oh, Fortnite just came out. I guess I'm okay at it. I still got a job. I'm still going to school. And then I'll play on the side and become a pro. No, that's not how it works.
No, you got to quit that job, quit school, and stream and work at it 10 hours a day to even have a chance of becoming pro.
The thing is, though, is a lot of these pros, like, they did play a lot. But, like, Ninja, he was working a job and going to school as he was getting big. And once he began to get big is when he actually ended up quitting.
How many ninjas are there?
Nadeshot did the same thing. Of course, okay, I guess I can't really say this because those are literally the two biggest influence on esports.
Yeah. And you can't just use those, like, I mean, yeah, those are, like, crazy stories. Like, yeah, they could do it, but, I mean, they're not everybody. Not every ordinary person is going to be like, That's true. I want to have a job, have a job, go to school, and then stream and not hang out with anybody and just sit there in my room every time I have time off from school and studying everything like that. I mean, it just takes a lot of dedication is basically what we're saying. Because, like, every streamer... Anybody,
it definitely takes dedication. We definitely don't want to like get you guys saying like, oh, I want to do this, I'm gonna quit. You gotta balance your time to like if streaming and like getting good at a game is something you want to do, balance it with all the other priorities you have with school and with work, and then dedicate a solid few hours to this every day.
Yeah.
And then once you're like, oh, this is actually something like I can do it, then and like you're already beginning to do it, like getting money and stuff, that's when like you need to start cutting back on everything else to make more time.
You're definitely gonna have to cut out some parts of your life. It's gonna happen with anything, even like going to college. You're gonna have to cut everybody knows it. You're gonna like cut friends off, stuff like that. So I mean, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a grind.
It is a grind,
and it's not just like dedicating time. Like these people that are the pros, like they know the ins and outs of the game. Like they don't just go and play, and they're not just skilled at it. Like they're not just good at it. They know things about the game. Like the people that are good at Fortnite, they know like, okay, so this bus is going here. So like they almost know like percentages of like these people are going here, here, and here. The bus went here, the storm's here, so this is where everyone's going to be rotating to right about now. And so that's how you see them get all these high kill games, and they know how to position themselves so well, and things like that. And then like with Call of Duty, me and Wick played a lot of Call of Duty and got pretty knowledgeable. And like spawns, you learn how to control spawns, position yourself in this spot so they spawn here, and just things like that. There's lots of little nuances of the game that you have to learn in order to be that good at it. And another thing is video games they change. There's patches. Fortnite updates once to twice a week.
Yeah.
League of Legends updates like every 2 weeks. Call of Duty updates like every week. These games are constantly changing, and these players have to adapt to the changes. And I think that's one of the most incredible things. It's like if you're playing in the NBA or something, like you've been playing basketball your whole life. There's certain ways that you're going to play basketball. You're going to see this type of defense, and this is how you react to it. You're going to see this type of offense, this is how you react to it.
And any rule change takes years to implement.
Yes, and they're talking about it ahead of time, and so you have plenty of time ahead. In video games, these things are changing week to week, and these players have to adapt.
And they don't tell you what they're changing either. They're like, hey, we might be changing this, and then the patch comes out, and then nothing is even listed about that.
Oh, hey, riding the most OP shit we've ever added to the game, and it literally kills you in 4 shots, and it shoots 50 a clip.
Oh, so we're talking about Fortnite now. I was trying to be broad about it.
and the blue tack hits for 8 every time. Anyways, continue. Rant over.
But like I was saying, it's so like these players are extremely smart, and I think a lot of people underestimate the knowledge it takes to implement these changes into your game every week and still like maintain that level.
And I think most of the older generation has a thing about gamers, because whenever they were kids and people were like gamers or whatever and played video games all the time, they were dumb and stuff like that. But we got this new generation of gamers that are smart and they know what they're doing, and that's why they're so good at these games.
What games were we playing? Arcade games.
Exactly.
So that didn't take much coding or anything because it was new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also is like I think a lot of people have a negative outlook on gamers is like nerds and like skinny,
sitting in your house,
and like
outcasts,
can't socialize. But like with social media and like the online interaction, and there's lots of like gamers that they lift weights. Like there have been so many big time like professional gamers that have like
live a healthy lifestyle
and like lift weights and stuff, and they promote that, and so all the other gamers that look up to them are doing the same things. And so like gamers now aren't just like wimpy little dudes or fat kids that are playing games. It's athletes that are playing games and getting good and things like that. Like Ninja was a high school soccer player.
Yeah.
Like he was.
Merckx was a football player.
Yeah.
Gonna be a college football player.
He benches like 800.
Really?
Like
no, God no, but he's huge.
Yeah, he's huge. But like, and so like, the outlook and like the appearance of gamers is changing rapidly to fit everybody. So like, it's hard to look down on gamers now because everybody's playing games. I saw a thing on the World Cup where one of the national teams was playing Fortnite in their spare time. Like they were all just together playing Fortnite, and I think that's an awesome thing is for like professional athletes and superstars of whatever they're doing, being open about playing video games and letting it's okay to play video games. Like it's a good way to have a good time, because you see so much negativity toward video games. It's like, oh, you're wasting your life away. Well, what are people doing when they're watching TV?
Exactly. It's the same thing. We're actually like thinking and processing stuff. We're actually like keeping our IQ up. Yeah, maybe our eyes are getting shit on. And I mean, it's just like we could be wasting our time on so much worse stuff. Like we could be doing a lot like more bad stuff than we're doing now.
And to kind of like cap this all off on the whole like relevance is I just want to say like the rise of esports and like what it has become. It has grown so much in just the past couple of years. with League of Legends is now like franchising. So a lot of esports and how it's been competition. So if you don't place well, you could drop out of the pro league. But with the way like League of Legends is now, is they've done franchising like a lot of like the NFL and stuff and the NBA, to where there's set organizations that are in the program and they're going to compete year in and year out, regardless of how they perform, which I think is really healthy because it provides some stability as far as like jobs and things like that. And I think that's one of the huge things that esports is doing, is it's creating a lot of job opportunities with new organizations rising. They need all the same attention and manpower that, you know, huge organizations like working for the Dallas Mavericks say, like all the different people they need, like a CEO, CFO, someone like working with marketing and like managing like social media and stuff like that. Esports teams are forming and putting more people into jobs like that. And then there's also like, it's a new outlet for advertising and things. So like there's lots more jobs being created, I think, with the rise of esports. So I think it's a new, like, it's providing a lot of stability as far as like in the job market and things like that. And there's just a lot of things that esports is bringing to the table that I think is really healthy and, you know, good, and just is going to continue to propel it on because it's been rapidly rising. So
Facts.
I think,
Thanks.
y'all have anything else to add on, you know, kind of esports for now?
I mean,
I think you covered most of that.
yeah. I mean, if you want to, do you have anything else to talk about esports?
Favorite YouTuber, go.
Favorite YouTuber?
Video gamer?
All
Video
time?
YouTuber?
Okay.
Yeah, gamer, YouTuber.
Okay, so all time is Nate Shot. I've followed Nate Shot since since COD Ghost. I watched him. He was captain of Optic Gaming at MLGX games.
You don't know, Tuna?
I mean, does it have to be competitive?
No, just favorite YouTuber.
Shoot, probably Penguin Zero.
He's hilarious.
He's just funny. I mean, he's not great at any of the games, but I mean, he's hilarious.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with. I'd probably go with Big Jiggly Panda. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Oh my gosh, I know who that is. He plays with
Vanoss and
yeah. That's a good group right there.
Yeah, they're solid.
Like all 8 or 9 of them. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And they make every time they get on a YouTube video, it's like insanely good. Yeah.
All right, favorite Twitch streamer. Twitch streamer. Favorite Twitch streamer. Do you watch anybody on Twitch?
It's either Dakotas or Mercs. Mercs is hilarious. Whenever he gets mad and he just starts screaming and shit, he's just like, oh, it's like it literally woke my parents up the other night, and it was the funniest thing ever. I just couldn't do anything but laugh. I was just sitting there, my parents were standing in my doorway, and I was just like laughing my butt off because it was just the funniest thing. Because he screamed for no reason. He killed the guy, but his last shot was 8. And that's the only reason why I screamed. He still killed him. And it was just hilarious. But
yeah, Nick Merckx has become my favorite streamer. I just started watching him kind of toward the end of this last semester in college. I've been watching him all summer, and I actually recently, the whole Twitch Prime, you can get stuff. So I've been subbing to him for a couple months now. So I really enjoyed Nick Merckx.
That was my first.
I enjoy his community. Like if you're ever in his chat's super cool. You can go into other chats and you see super negative stuff, but Nick Merckx has a super awesome community. So he's my favorite streamer. Super entertaining, really freaking good at Fortnite,
really good,
and all that. But I think that's gonna wrap up our esports conversation for today. So is it Tuna Sports
today? All right. The first thing I'm gonna talk about, it literally, I think it happened. Not even that long ago. It was the middle of the day, a couple hours ago. CJ McCollum and Kevin Durant had a little Twitter beef. And this kind of started 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant was on CJ's podcast, and he was like, hey, you're never going to win a championship, pretty much. And he's used the F word and all this other stuff, and it's kind of a big deal.
KD said that about CJ?
Yeah, he was kind of joking about it. Yeah, KD said it to CJ.
CJ who?
CJ McCollum he plays for the Trailblazers, the shooting guard. He's 23, 24, something like that. So he's pretty young, and he's good. He's their second best player behind Damian Lillard, which is arguably one of the best point guards in the league. So he's one of the best 2 guards in the league, and he said, hey, you're not going to win a championship or anything like that.
What was the reason?
I think it was more of a joke. I didn't really get to see most of the reason.
Because KD's in the league, he's never going to win.
Yeah, that's basically what everybody was doing it, but he was kind of using it as a joke because they're friends, or supposedly friends, and that's why he's on the podcast and everything like that. But then CJ came out today, and said something. I guess KD said something else about it, and he said, "I still think the B word is harsh." This is CJ saying this. He said, "I still think the B word is harsh and shouldn't be used. He know the decision was soft, but I respect it. It's like getting jumped with your brothers by a gang you should have beat, then joining the gang that jumped you and your brothers 2 months later and forgetting about your bros." KD responded with, "So I would get into a gang fight, lose, pot on my brother for 2 months in our home, and then go get the gang we lost to and beat him up. You think that low of me, CJ? I just did your effing podcast a favor. Snakes in the grass, boy, I tell you."
Bitch,
Laughing
that's
emoji.
exactly what he did.
Literally, CJ was just calling him out. He's like, "Hey, you did this," and KD's like, "No, I didn't.
No, I didn't. I did the same exact thing you just said I did.
I didn't do it." And then the funny thing is that he said snake. I think that's the funniest part because everybody was using that as a thing for him. I think that's the funniest
Just
thing.
called him fucking cupcake.
I don't know if there was any more back and forth between them, but I think that's pretty funny considering that they were supposedly boys as of 2 days ago, and then today he comes out and says that. I don't know what the whole B word thing was about.
I don't either.
I think he may have called him that, and he just like afterwards, and he just kind of thing. But they're both a little typos in there.
Oh, dude, those were kind of hard to follow.
I know
that's
why I was going slow between CJ because he didn't use any commas or anything like that. So I was just trying to get the point across. So basically, he was talking about KD and how he went from the Thunder to losing to the Warriors in Game 7 whenever they were up 3-2 or something like that.
It was 3-1.
3-1. They were up 3-1. Okay, so they were up 3-1 and they should have won, and then he lost, and then literally that offseason he went to 2 months later he went to the Warriors and. Basically, him and what's his face, Russell, had a beef.
And you wonder why we don't like KD.
Yeah, I like him as a player.
I don't.
I understand his decision on why he wanted to, because he felt like he had a better opportunity to win a championship, and that's the thing nowadays. Because you look at LeBron, everybody's doing it. Everybody wants to just get that chip. Everybody wants it. So that's pretty much what happened there. The other thing I wanted to talk about in the NBA is K Love. Is he going to be a star on the Cavs? Is he going to be their first option? And if he is their first option, is he going to go back to his Minnesota days where he's putting up 25, 10, easy?
He's going to put up Draymond numbers every game.
Draymond numbers?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think he's going to score more points than that?
No, I take it back. He's going to score Draymond double-doubles every game, occasional triple-double, but double Draymond's points.
So 20 points.
He's going to have 20, 30 each game, at least 15 boards, 10 assists. He's going to go
10
off.
assists?
He's going to go off.
I don't know about 10 assists.
He's going to go off.
I don't know. I mean, he's a good passer, full court passer. He's really good at passing, but I don't think he's going to have enough people around him to be able to do that kind of assist.
He's number one on the court. He is the best player. He's going to be guarded by the best player. Anyone who kicks out to is going to have a weaker defender on him.
He's also a power forward that can't dribble the ball. Very good.
I don't mind. Centers can pass. Big boys can pass.
Centers can pass,
yeah. But that means his guards are going to have good guard defenders on them.
Yeah, exactly.
In-out game. If they utilize it. If they utilize K-Love like they should, he's going to put up insane numbers.
He's going to put up insane. That's what I'm saying. Is he going to go back to the Minnesota numbers? Or
I think...
Even surpasses Minnesota numbers?
He's not going to surpass it. Those numbers are stupid. He's going to go back to his... Maybe a little less than his Minnesota days.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's older.
And he's lost. Yeah, he's
been
used to playing
injuries.
with LeBron. Yeah, everything like
injuries,
that.
Stuff like that. I mean,
he was 25 whenever he's putting up those numbers.
He's gonna be good.
He's gonna be good. Yeah, he's gonna be a solid. He's gonna be up there in power forwards this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I wanted to talk about who is MVP next year. Is it gonna be anybody from the West, or is it gonna be somebody from the East?
MVP. I think it really just depends. My money's probably gonna be. If the Celtics stay healthy and they make it to at least the conference finals, it's Kyrie.
Okay.
I'm going to say Kyrie because, if Harden got it right, if he can get it with CP on his team, Trevor Ariza, Clint Capella, gets it with all those guys on the team, those are solid guys. Those are really fucking good guys. So, and he still gets MVP. Why shouldn't... If Kyrie goes far with the Celtics, with the Gordon Hayward, with the Jason Tatum... With all these guys, he can get it.
He's still gonna have to put up numbers though.
He can put up numbers.
I know he's going to, but I mean he's still gonna have to. Like if you look at James Harden's number, he's still putting up.
He's in an easy conference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you think that they're gonna lean like the people that are voting, like the people that vote for the MVP, are gonna lean more towards the people in the West because like, hey, that is super hard of a league. Like over here we got the Celtics. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And then over here we got like LeBron, Warriors, Russell, James Harden. We got all these big time players over here over the East Conference.
They've proved to not have great judgment anyways. I don't think they're going to take out into consideration all the superstars being on the West. I think Kyrie's going to have insane numbers, and I think he's going to get it because of the numbers. Just for the sheer fact of numbers.
Okay. Well, I think
isn't that why Harden got it last year?
No.
He's in a hard conference.
Well, okay, this is what happens.
Yeah, okay.
Their voting goes from, like, stats are obviously first, but, like, stats up here, like, so, like, LeBron definitely had better stats last year, and he was second in the running. James Harden had a little bit less stats, but also they look at how did your team perform around you? How did your team do during this season? How far did your team go in the playoffs? Like, how easy was it for you guys? Everything like that. Also, they don't just look at, hey, look at his stats. Like, yeah. And then, like, they obviously look, is he helping the team win?
Yeah, which is why I don't get why they don't give it to LeBron James. Like, why do you guys think he's not going to be James? Because he's the best player in the league. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the most valuable player on any team. Mm-hmm. So why does he not get it?
He's able to put up numbers on shitty teams. Because you play people in your conference for the whole season. Mm-hmm. He's going to have, if LeBron, or if James Harden goes to the East and plays a full season in the East, he's going to destroy anybody in the league in stats. Because he's playing garbage can teams.
Yeah, 75% of his games are going to be against the garbage teams, and then 20, like they play like 1-2 games from the other conference every year, so each team from the other conference like twice. Mm-hmm. So that adds up to like 30 games, and there's 82. So out of those other 50 games he's playing against trash people. And also LeBron is just like, it's a given. Like LeBron's going to put up numbers no matter what. That's what so I mean like he's always up there. Like every single year he's been up there since he's been in the league pretty much. Mm-hmm. So I mean they're just like, we need to give it to somebody else pretty much. Like we could give it to James and everybody would be happy, but like
that doesn't make sense.
I feel like
it doesn't.
Because if he is the best player and he's the most valued player, no matter where he goes, he's going to be the star of the team. Like I don't get why people like oh, let's give it to someone who's actually not the most valuable player. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Because I feel like it's gonna they want viewers and they want viewership, they want loyalty, and you're catering to one dude at one team that is hated by a lot of people.
A lot of people.
And you're just gonna give it to everybody knows he's the MVP. James Harden knows LeBron's the MVP. It's just gonna be, it's kind of like a shoulder. I think LeBron kind of said, "Hey, I know I'm the king. My nickname is the King. I know I'm the best ever. So you give it to somebody else."
Yeah, but
it's cool.
That like I kind of get where you're going, but like it doesn't reflect. Like I don't think it reflects his career as well as it should, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and you're kind of like
as good as well as he performed for as long as he has, like he's not gonna have the MVP wins that he should for his career. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like when people look back on his career, he's gonna have X amount of MVPs, but he should have probably had several more. Yeah. And I don't think that's right to hurt his career.
Anyone who knows about his legacy is gonna know about the MVP stuff. They're not gonna I don't argue against Jordan a whole lot. I argue for LeBron because I don't know a whole lot about Jordan. I wasn't there to watch if he should have got MVP, got snuffed because the same thing happened there. I don't know, so I'm not gonna argue against Jordan. I'm gonna argue for LeBron because I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because it's current, and I know what's going on. I know it's my time.
Exactly. So, yeah, basically LeBron's just up there every year, and they're just like, his team did worse, obviously, because he was on the Cavs, and they didn't have anybody. James Harden has CP3 and all those people. And his team, it's not like they lost, like, they were first in the league in wins.
Who?
Rockets?
Yes.
Yeah, so they were first in the league in wins, so, I mean, that's obviously a big feat. And him putting up those numbers kind of put two and two together. It's kind of him.
In the West, best record
is usually going to be the MVP.
That's
the same thing happened with Steph, but that year he was putting up insane fucking numbers.
Who's Steph?
Steph, that year that he won.
Fuck Steph, he's
man.
Bitch.
Yeah, but this year I think it's going to be Antetokounmpo. This is actually his year.
Yeah,
I said it last year, but this year is his year because now the East is super weak, and he's going to be able to put up insane numbers because he is already beefier than he was last year. Mm-hmm. He was beefy last year. So
what's your bet, J-Mac? Who's MVP? You can say LeBron. I don't care.
Dude, I think he should get it. I don't think he will get it. I have no idea who's going to get it other than him, though.
Say a name.
I want to see Russ get it.
Russ get it again.
That's
I want
good.
to see Russ.
I like that.
I like
don't
Russ.
know. I think
Russ.
he's going more to a team player now. Finally, kind of pushing back a little bit. Because I mean, he's gonna have to.
More power to him.
Yeah, he's evolving as a player.
But the thing is, though, is if he becomes more of a team player, that means he's more valuable to his team. So
he's gonna put up
could make him.
again.
It could make him even more viable as a most valuable player. If he starts making his team that much better, be more of a team player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean that year that he won, he wasn't even making his team that much better because they were still.
He was dunking on people.
That's all. That was the year he got
He was definitely statting. He was definitely. There's no arguing that he was statting.
Didn't he just break the triple double record or whatever that year?
Yeah, and he averaged.
That's why he got it, right? That's why he got it.
Yeah, he averaged triple double.
I think I saw an interview or whatever. One of his Cantor, I think. Cantor. Yeah. I saw an interview where Russ is if he could team with anybody, he'd team with Russ. Russ was his favorite person to play with.
Because he passed to him every time. Because they did a pick and roll. And who's going to guard him? These two guys on the pick and roll. Dump it over. Easy done. It's not that hard to do.
But he just said he loved Russ's intensity.
And his intensity.
How he is as a teammate and just how he keeps everyone focused and things like that. He just said he was a great teammate and he just loved being around him. And so that's another reason I think that Russ came on. Is someone who doesn't play with him again says he wants to go back and play with Russ again.
Well, also, he is on the Knicks right now, and they're trash. So, I mean, that doesn't really help your case. But, yeah. Did you have something about Vince Carter that you wanted to say?
Vince Carter
signed with the Atlanta Hawks today. It's his, 21st season?
Yep.
He's about to turn, 42.
Yeah. I saw this thing. Trae Young was born September of 1998. Vince Carter was drafted in June of 1998. So, that means Vince Carter's been in the league longer than Trae Young's been alive. I just found that.
And they're teaming together?
They're on the same team.
This is going to be so good for Trae Young, though. He's going to have, literally, besides Tim Duncan, probably one of the best veterans you could ask for.
Yep.
Because Vince Carter, he's already showed that he's gone out of his way to help people on other teams. Just imagine if you're on his team with him every single practice. Mm-hmm. How much stuff you're just going to pick up on. And just, even, you don't even have to talk to him. You can just, see how he practices and everything. He's been in the league for 21 years.
Yeah, and the superstar status that Vince Carter has, because what he did in Toronto when he was drafted and he went there was he changed the entire league. Vince Carter and having a player that changed your entire league, be able to cater to you as you're coming into the league is going to be a huge advantage for Trae Young as he develops as a player in the NBA.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 years he's going to be popping off. He's going to have to. He's already gained 15 pounds of muscle.
That's crazy.
Just from the summer. Okay. Let's move out of the basketball. Pretty much the only thing else going on is the baseball and golf. So we'll get to baseball. I'm just going to throw out, there's a bunch of games today. There's 10 games today. I'm going to name off the main ones that people are really worried about. The Astros played the Rockies, and the Rockies won 3-2. Mariners played the Giants, and the Mariners won 3-2. Nationals played the Brewers, and the Nationals won 7-3. And then the game that's in progress right now at this time is the Angels versus the White Sox, and the Angels are up 11-2 in the bottom of the 7th. So I'm pretty sure the Angels got that one locked down.
Bloodbath.
And then that's pretty much all that's going on right now in baseball. Golf happened to open last weekend.
Yep. We
talked about Tiger Woods in the last one, how he was tied for 6th, 500 par, everything like that, and he ended tied for 6th, 500 par. He still got a $300,000 purse, which is pretty good, and he got his first top 10 finish since 2011, which is pretty damn good considering all the injuries that he's had and everything like that. But the winner was Francisco Molinari from Italy, and he went 8 under par, and he took home $2 million just from winning this crazy tournament.
$2 million.
Yep. So that's it. That's for sports right now. Now we're gonna go over to WICK with his crazy shit.
Crazy shit. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start us off with a little bit of. Hold on, let me grab this real quick. Alrighty, so I've always been fascinated by past inhabitants of our Earth.
So dinosaurs?
No, not dinosaurs. So my thoughts are, we all know the pyramids. The pyramids are pretty crazy, pretty weird. No one has a legit answer for them. I want to know what
Egyptians, duh.
Yeah. Okay. How long ago was that?
What?
My first topic is, or my first thing is, what are your thoughts on the pyramids and how they get there? Who built them? How they get there? Or whatever.
No, the Egyptians built them.
You think the Egyptians?
Yeah.
The Egyptians definitely built them. It's whether or not they were aided. How long ago?
Yeah.
Whenever they were built.
Oh, freaking no.
Okay.
That's like getting into like with how long.
So is
that
that
that's getting into like.
We need to do more research.
That also goes into like how old do you think the Earth is?
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about like what year. I'm talking about like was that like at the rise of humanity? Is that when they built them?
Oh no. I don't think that's the rise of humanity.
So like like the Mesopotamia, whatever, the very first civilization was there.
I think they started building stuff like pyramids because pyramids were essentially at the beginning were temples type things.
Yeah.
So I feel like they were building temples and they just kind of like evolved into this. And there's a bunch of stuff I've heard from other podcasts and stuff like this. So I don't know exactly. Never done my research on this. Mm-hmm. I want to read the book that I can't remember his name. Some doctor in something I can't remember his name. But he actually went and did like the Giza, the like lion the nest thing.
The Sphinx.
Sphinx. That's what it is. Completely wrong. But he did a bunch of research on it and figured out that it may be like 100-something years earlier than they actually think it was built, and it was actually remade and all this other stuff. And there's a bunch of stuff in his book about the pyramids and how they were smaller, and like if they were remaking something, they made like a granite stone around the bottom to show that they were remaking it to like bring something like because they had like afterlife to everything like that, and they built like over it. So definitely like these pyramids could have been like taught from longer ago, and that's how they figured it out.
Okay.
Like how to actually do that. Like the ones that we see now were like transformed, so they like started off small and just got bigger and bigger, and just like how crazy can we go? Because like we do like skyscrapers now, like how tall can we make a skyscraper? But that's pretty much what they did with the pyramids. I think.
So what technology do you think they used?
Those that is the hardest thing because like those stones are cut like they're precise and like stuck to
huge.
Each one weighs as much as an elephant.
Exactly, and they're in like I don't know about how they transported them because there's a bunch of people saying like they brought them over, like they had these huge raft things that they made and they brought them over on the river, and then the slaves drove. There's no way that many slaves they had that many slaves.
So what's your explanation?
I have no freaking idea. I don't know. I seriously don't know. What I would like to know is that these slaves actually did it, but I doubt that that's how it happened because there's just like, how can you move those blocks into place so perfectly and then
cut them perfectly? So you got to cut them first, move them to the place, move them to the raft river thing, put it on the raft, push it over, take the raft to the place. Find the glue.
Find the glue. They had like cement and like kind of cement.
You don't need no freaking glue. It's gonna stick anyways.
Well, how did you get them to stick together so perfectly so it stays like that? Because like they didn't build like a platform, like a full platform and then a full platform. They like built like an outside, inside. Like it kept on getting smaller and smaller, and it fit. Everything fit perfectly. So they were like definitely super smart. That's why I think it was passed down, like from generation to generation to generation, just like we are with our buildings and everything. Like look at our buildings like 100 years ago. They were freaking terrible. Now they're like indestructible. We can make them like they can shake and stuff like that because of an earthquake. Just they did that, so they had, and they were super smart people anyway, so they know how to cut them and like put them in there perfectly.
So Tuna, do you believe in aliens?
I do believe in aliens. There's
do you believe they helped us in any of that?
I don't. I do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. It definitely, there's a bunch of signs that say, hey, yeah, they probably did, but I don't think that they would. Why would they come here?
And then why would they leave? Like, why would they come like, oh, we're gonna help you with this little side project. Oh, peace out, guys.
Yeah, bye. I don't want to. I just wanted you to make this pyramid and then peace out. I was gonna help you cut some rocks, do all that stuff, and then bye.
Yeah. Okay. So you're ultimately no.
Ultimately, not the okay. No.
Okay. What about you, J-Mac?
Do I believe in aliens? I don't know if I believe in them. I don't see why they couldn't be a possibility.
Okay.
Like,
so kind of riding the fence just because you don't know enough.
Yeah, like I don't know enough to say yes, I believe that there's aliens, but I'm not gonna be like, no, there's no freaking way that there's aliens.
There's no way that there's.
There's no way there's other life in the infinitely expanding universe.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. So I watched this video and it had me thinking, and I've reflected a lot about it. Anytime I have free time, I think about this. I call it the recycling humanity theory.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I think. This is my thought process, and I haven't explained this to you guys yet, and I did it on purpose. So, I truly think, like, my whole life I've been trying to correlate pyramids and then an explanation, and then correlate that with God. And so I think humanity has, and the Earth is however old it is, billions of years old, whatever, and we're just now rising as humans. I think that's bullshit. How we evolution from monkeys or whatever, I think that's a whole bunch of, I mean, I know there's evidence to it, but I don't believe it's to an extent of human beings from monkeys. I think that's pretty ridiculous. And monkeys from fucking toads, and toads from fish, all that nonsense.
Wait, whoa, monkeys are from toads?
Eventually. Eventually.
He means like
one
starting organism and everything else evolved from that.
Yeah,
like everything was a fish, and then the fish went out of the water and somehow it began to breathe and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like that mermaid thing that was on the planet,
yeah,
Animal Planet, that was completely fake. Yeah, they grew fins and that was so stupid, bro.
So
just by walking in the water a couple hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With that being said, I do believe God intentionally puts enough humans to start a civilization, and I don't know why, but they are eradicated at some point. Like they're either like experimentational, they're trials. It's like a trial and error, trying to, or he's just saying, here's some people, see how far you can get, and then Mother Nature's gonna play its course, and everyone's gonna die, and then I'm gonna restart it when I feel like the Earth is recovered enough. And I feel like, bear with me, every civilization he's put out here has destroyed the Earth, like self-implosion. Within Stephen Hawking, the smartest dude ever, said we are going to self-implode and kill ourselves within 50 years. 50 to 100 years. The whole human race is going to be fucking wiped. And I do believe that's what's happened before. And we're technologically advanced right now with skyscrapers, whatever. You build a skyscraper and leave it unattended for 200 years, what happens to it?
It's going to fall.
It's going to fall. What about 500 years? Unattended.
It's gonna fall.
It's gonna fall and be nothing. It's gonna look like Earth. It's gonna look like nothing ever happened. The pyramids date back 18,000 years. And why have they not broke down or anything? Because it's actually Earth they used it out of. They built that stuff out of Earth. That's why it's still standing. So what I'm trying to get at is earlier civilizations before this group of humans that we have right now were advanced enough. They had skyscrapers. They had civilizations. It's just all that shit's gone and eroded. It's all flattened out, except for the stuff they made out of Earth, which is the pyramids.
So you're thinking that the Egyptians that made all these pyramids, had like stuff that we had?
Yes. No, I'm not gonna say like.
Well, obviously not like stuff
not like computers and stuff like that. But I feel like they were a group of humans that evolved in such a way that they advanced through a stone technology, opposed to a metal, steel like we're using now. They found ways to perfect rock. And they obviously probably used metal machinery to cut that shit, because it's precise. Metal machinery to erect that stuff. But all that stuff has been unattended for 18,000 years, so of course it's going to erode down to nothing. To Earth, and then recycle, and Earth's going to reuse it and recycle it. You know how the process goes. That's my thought process on it, and it is a way to incorporate God with nature, like with evolution. I air quoted that, you can't see it, but I did. I don't know your thoughts about that, because like I never thought of it that way until I saw this one video. I don't remember what it was, but it makes sense.
Okay, so I just want to get this whole recycle thing correct. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that God, okay, so he, like, after these Egyptians were done or whatever, what happened to them?
They so he's saying that like
there's an astronomical
whatever they did on the Earth, whatever, like whether it was
So how
like
did
pollution or something where it just caused it to where everybody died.
Yeah.
All the entire human race.
Okay, so
Gone.
Okay, I get it now. I was just like, I thought you just like he was like, boom, new Earth here, and that's why I was like, how did the pyramids get here? Then that's why I was like confused. I thought it was like a brand new Earth, and he put more people in it, like it was before, and just like here's some people.
And here's the thing: we have such an understanding of God from Jesus, the Messiah, and that's all we have is just one kid, one son, and then now we have basically every religion on earth is based off of that, to an extent.
Some
ish,
but yeah, kind of.
Is God sent person, and now you base your religion off of it. He probably sends one of those per civilization and just sees how it goes, and sees if we're eligible for heaven and an afterlife, a good afterlife, how we act and progress with the knowledge given to us. Do we negate that and kind of do materialistic shit, or do we use it and try to incorporate that into our everyday life and then see if we're viable for a pleasant afterlife or an unpleasant one?
So you're saying if our parents and like their parents and their parents and their parents before us, if they fucked up, then we're fucked. Is that what you're trying to say? If like a bunch of people, like a group of people down the line messed up, then all of their offspring and keep on going, they're all messed up?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think God's going to allow that to continue. If they fuck up that 2 or 3 generations, something's gonna give.
Well, he's gonna say like to where they fuck up, so like we all die.
Probably. I mean,
right? That's what you're getting at. Is like if they fuck up,
then we're all gonna. No, what I'm saying is like because you said like a pleasant afterlife, everything like that. If they fucked up back here and we're up here, since they fucked up and we're like their offspring, and say we're even doing like good, kind of, not really, we're not doing good, but then because they messed up, we would have a bad afterlife.
No, that's not entirely fair. Because
yeah, no, but I mean that's I'm just trying to get this straight with them and me because I don't understand. I'm trying to just figure out what's going on here.
Jesus was what at 30 AD or BC. He was 30. He wasn't born. He wasn't born on 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the AD is all like after he died.
Yeah. So after he was crucified and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
BC wasn't literally like just before Christ was born. Like AD didn't start as soon as he was.
It was after he rose again, right?
Okay. So
AD is I think more closely related. Like I know it's somewhere like around like the church and stuff.
But when did people start?
When did people start?
Our documented people. Probably not like 1,000 years before that, maybe?
Maybe? Oh, longer than that.
Way longer than that. What?
Okay, so one of the guys in the Old Testament, I forget who it was, lived to be over like 1,000. One of the guys in the Old Testament.
Yeah, you know more than we do about.
He lived to be like 1,000. So it was definitely over like several thousand years.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then they started from basically nothing.
And if you're saying that the Egyptian
I'm thinking that's the rebirth right there. Because the Egyptians were 18,000 years ago. I'm saying that they had something happen to where they all got wiped out. Rebirth, boom, right after that. Right after Earth had sat for a couple thousand years, and then recycled everything, new life happened. And then as soon as we fuck up, which we're about to, in a couple of years, in a few dozen years, we're gonna fuck up, and then it's gonna be the end of it. Because we're already fucking up our water. Our water's destroyed. Have you seen our oceans? Our rivers in China, everything's fucked up because we're materialistic now. We're so hung up over money that we're willing to fuck up all of nature. Deforestation. And we're doing so much to destroy everything that I think the end is near. I don't think it's like tomorrow or the next day. I'm thinking within the next few decades it's going to happen.
So what if the Egyptians aren't the ones that fucked up? What if another civilization fucked up and it fucked them up?
I think he's saying like it gets to the point
where it
spreads to where like all of humanity, like as the majority of humanity is messed up, and I think that's what he's getting at.
Okay, so how do we still have history of all this shit if he destroyed everything? Well, not destroyed everything, but like
he's saying it's a new beginning. So we only have the history of this.
So
this set of humanity. So that's what he's saying.
This is what you're trying to explain, like the gaps in everything.
Yes.
Like 18,000, and then all of a sudden we're like here.
Yes.
Okay. I understand now.
And how it's like explaining, you know, like how like the Earth is like millions of years old or whatever. Yet we don't.
But we're here right now, and it's like it's not that long time yet.
That's his justification.
Okay.
And that's my way. This is just my way to implement God with science.
It makes a lot of sense. I don't think that's what happens because I'm not completely on the side of evolution. Like, obviously, we didn't come from monkeys, I don't think. Like, obviously, I implement God with it too. But obviously, you've seen things evolve, like, animal-wise.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, evolution is real. I just don't think that we evolved like we evolved. I think we evolved some way. God put us here, and then we evolved some way, but not exactly how people think it is.
I believe evolution from an adaptation standpoint.
Yes.
Exactly. Like, we adapt to our nature, that's evolution. I don't believe we come from different species.
Yes.
And
I'm behind 100%.
Have you seen some of these books they're about psychedelic mushrooms? And that's how we evolved, kind of like from being like monkeys and like stuff like that to here. And then also to a point where God came from is from these psychedelic things, because like the burning bush and all this other stuff. Like there's a bunch of books about it, and it's they're interesting, but I don't think they could be true, but they could not be true. Like I'm not just gonna say they're not true, but like some of these things could have happened because of those type of things. It's just kind of like, because you know what psychedelic, like they're gonna make you see stuff, and like some of this stuff it just kind of correlates. I mean, people can do that obviously. They can be like, hey, this happened because of this, but it's probably not true. But I mean, it's just like good to think like that. Just like expand your mind.
Yeah, I don't believe or agree. Like, I mean, I get where you come from, but I don't think that what you think is like how it happened. Like, I don't think God treats humanity in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as in, like, they messed up, it's all gone. You know, like, that's not the story that the Bible gives us, I don't think. You know, like, to where humanity's gonna run down. You know what I mean? Like,
you messed up, you're done.
The Bible, like, what it is, and I think a lot of people misunderstand it a lot, is through and through is it's really cheesy, but it's a love story. Like, it's God redeeming humanity. And, like, a lot of the Old Testament is people don't understand is that what it's following the genealogy of Jesus. So a lot of like the main characters are because they're descendants of Adam, and they like carry on to Jesus. And so like what it is it's a redeeming story. And I don't think, you know, like the view that you have with like they messed up and so like start over. I don't think that fits with like what the story of the Bible says. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can get where you can like come to that conclusion, and like I was trying to like as you were saying it, I was like, I don't believe it because of this, but then you said something as like, okay, like that can actually fit in there, like, and I get like how you guys came to the conclusion, but I don't agree with it just from like, you know, what I've read in the Bible and things like that. I just don't think it fits with how God is presented.
Yeah, my thing is like I haven't read the entirety of the Bible. I live my life the way I feel like God would want me to. Obviously. I'm not gonna turn this into like a spiritual.
Yeah, we don't want to get like too. I'm trying to avoid that.
But I feel like with a lot of the Bible is stories and how you interpret it, and then how it's taught to us.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a big game of telephone. And it's because I mean, the Old Testament. I mean, with descendants, it's hearsay. It's what I said, and then it's like telling a joke from your grandpa. You're gonna butcher the shit out of it because you. It's not yours.
It's real generalized.
You don't know it. He knows it, and he's trying to teach it to you, and it's not going to be 100%. You're not going to take a test. You're not going to take a quiz. You're not going to study the joke to where you're 100% perfect on it. You're just going to be like, this is the gist of the joke. I know it. Whatever. I'm going to butcher it, and that's how it's going to go. I feel like it's all iffy.
Yeah, and that's where like a lot of people get hung up is like, how reliable is the Bible? Well, then that kind of comes into, well, how are you limiting God if you don't trust the Bible? Because like the Bible says that it's God's word, and like I'm a true like biblical inerrancy, and what that means is like it's true and like it's the word of God so far as it's true to like what God wants us to see.
Yeah. So
like and like I took like a whole class on this. So I'm like trying to recall some of this stuff, but like pretty much like a lot of people are like, well, how is like this and this, like why are certain things in the gospel like this and this? because God used like different people, and you have to trust that God's hand is in it. Like,
he's playing chess and we're playing checkers, kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like because
he knows what he's doing.
Okay, so us trying to fathom God is God isn't human. He's out of us, and so we try to understand something that we don't even know what it is.
Yeah,
and it makes no sense.
We're trying to perfect the game when we don't even know what field we're on.
Yes, and so what I mean, we gotta it's all faith based, and that's where everyone gets hung up, is because it's faith based. It's how much do you believe this or this and this.
You don't know what is exactly going to happen. Nobody actually knows where you go afterwards, because you can't just talk to somebody after they died. You can't do that. So you're just believe where people get hung up, I think, is doing this and then just not knowing what the end result is going to be. And even if because they could say here, I'm doing this, but what if that's wrong? All this is not all of it.
Yeah,
some of these sections are wrong, and then I end up here instead of where I wanted to be.
You go all in on something, not knowing if there's no hardcore proof. You go all in on something that could end up being wrong.
Exactly.
South Park did it best. Everybody, Jews, Christians, everyone died, and then they go up to heaven, and then they're at the gates, and they're kind of deciding if they go to heaven or hell. And then they all go to hell, and they're like, well, who got it right? They're it's the Mormons, actually. That would be the Mormons that got it right. And then everybody's in a suit and tie, up in heaven, and they all fucking super inbred and stuff. It's hilarious. If you're Mormon, I'm sorry, but I mean
it's funny. It's funny. You gotta laugh a little bit. Do you have anything else?
No, I just wanted to fuck your brain a little bit with
you definitely freaking did that.
Yeah, that
whole
was
trying to
good.
understand God thing.
That was good.
I feel
it was definitely a brain teaser. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
just trying to follow your thing to
yes.
I get where you ended up going and how you got there, but it took me forever.
Yeah, that's why I was asking so many questions, and then after I'd asked the question, Jordan was like, "I got this," and then you say something else, and he's just like, I mean,
do you have any other questions about it? Do you need to know any more?
No. I really like these little sections that we're doing at the end because they're really good.
They're freaking. They're weird, and it's something to think about.
So let us know in the comments if you. Okay, hold on. You're not gonna agree with what I said. Obviously, it has some kinks in it. Let me know how much you disagree with it. say, oh, I kind of get it, or say that's fucking retarded. You need to chill. Just let us know, because I'm curious as to what you guys think about it. It's new. I just came up with it a couple months ago, and I've been building on it ever since I saw that video. And I feel like it's a way to incorporate the God that I believe in. And
that's another thing
science.
About God is people interpret God differently.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about religion, is everyone's interpreting God differently.
That's why there's so many different ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. Yep.
And they all have the same central beliefs and everything like that. So
yep.
They're not really varied, but I mean, that was a good hour and 2 minutes.
We got any more you gonna add?
Not too shabby.
My brain is dead, dude. I'm done now.
I'm just trying not to go. I'm not trying to go into the God stuff anymore than we are.
I'm tapped out.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it is 2 o'clock in the morning now. 1.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
That's
pretty good.
I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah. Don't forget Twitter's the Premier Cast, and then YouTube, Facebook, Instagram's the Premier Podcast.
Nobody got upset today, so.
Who's drawn today?
Are we doing that?
Somebody's got to do it.
No, we're not doing it every day.
Every day. Every day.
No,
every day.
I don't agree with this.
Every
I don't
day.
either.
Why not?
Because I got hurt.
Okay, Dalton will jump in the pool, and we'll post a video about it. How about that?
What?
Am I gonna have to do everything? I'll jump in the pool. Mark something off.
Chill.
No, dude,
No one got butthurt.
I got butthurt.
No, it's a punishment.
I did. I was getting pissed off whenever you were trying to explain.
Why?
Because I was. Because I couldn't understand what the fuck you were saying.
Do you want to do it?
I'm gonna jump in the pool. Yeah, I'm not doing any of the other ones. I'll jump in the pool.
I don't.
Okay.
Whatever.
Recap. Okay.
You can do it this time, but I'd say we're not gonna do it because not someone's gonna get butthurt. We don't have to do it every episode. It needs to be a special occasion.
Though.
It needs to be a special occasion.
Okay, then we won't do it today. We won't do it today. It's whatever. Okay, recap. Asshat challenge, obviously. It's not a challenge. It's
we
more
didn't add
of
one, did we?
We didn't add one, so we're not going to do it today. We usually have 5 things to pick from, and it's if you get butthurt, pissed off, whatever, the other people call you out on it. Then you have to pick from this hat, and it's a bunch of punishments. Right now we got eat a tablespoon of mustard right now, and then we got man pong, which is pretty much you take your shirt off and they hit you with a ping pong ball from like 3 feet away with the paddle and everything. And then jump in the pool is number 3, and then number 4 is grow mutton chops, post a picture, and wear it for 3 days afterwards.
I'm excited for that one.
Gonna be the worst one.
And we aren't taking these out until one has already been used. So like the last podcast I had, J-Mac and WICK posted something on my Twitter, and I got to keep it on there. I even pinned it on my Twitter if you want to go check that out at DWTFOXX2. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a decent amount. I mean, I don't have very many followers, but it was a pretty good one.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. Today it was a good podcast today.
Yep. I feel like we can wrap it up.
We're done.
Alrighty. Remember, comment. We want to know, and send us messages on Twitter and email, whatever. We want to know. We just want to know about you.
We just want some feedback. What do y'all think about the podcast? What do y'all think about the podcast? What do we need to incorporate?
What do we need to do better? Do less of?
What do y'all want to hear about?
Yeah.
Right now we're just kind of talking about stuff we enjoy. We know there's a community for. If you guys are here and you're not hearing something you want to hear, let us know. We're open to new topics.
Yeah, we can definitely research and figure out something for you. And we are trying to get video currently, trying to figure out how to get video into this so you can see us better. And just know the faces behind the voices type thing. Because we want, I know it's like a big thing that you want to see, like everybody just wants to see what we look like and everything like that. So we're trying to get that figured out. So just give us time on that. We will post on Twitter, Facebook, everything like that.
There you go.
And then as we gain a following, we'll be more active with showing our faces like on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. Like we'll be able to be more active when we have more people to interact with stuff. So make sure to follow us so we know you're checking it out. Leave some comments and stuff. And I think that's
pretty much it.
That's pretty much
Alright, let's wrap things up. This is Wick saying keep them beeholes tight.
This is J-Mac. Watch out for them bush wookies.
And this is Tuna. #ballin'.